bright yellow cans. Keep it twisted.
Twisted Tea Brewing Company, Cincinnati, Ohio. Please drink responsibly.
Heavy on projects, but light on staff? Indeed's hiring platform helps attract, interview, and hire candidates all in one place. Sponsor a job and instantly receive a short list of quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit.
WTLA North Syracuse, WSGO Oswego, W249BC Mattydale, W261AC Oswego, WTKWHD2 Bridgeport, ESPN Radio. This is the Burdick Ford and Burdick Toyota pregame show.
Well, business just picked up in the old pregame show. Literally just picked up in the old pregame show, and not necessarily. Well, remove the not necessarily. And not in a way that, A, we expected, or B, that we really had any interest in it picking up in this way. Brian Higgins with you. We got an hour coming up here on our Burdick pregame coverage, getting you ready for Cuse in Albany tonight. Phone lines open throughout the hour if you'd like to join in at 315-437-7644. Anything you're thinking, want to talk about, whatnot, we can get in. Yeah, I think we've come up with a thing to talk about. Just said it at the end of the 315 minutes ago. This just across within the last 10 minutes now from Mike Waters from the Post-Standard and Syracuse.com. From Twitter, X, Mike Waters, Hall of Famer. Quote, an early note on Syracuse's starting lineup versus Albany tonight. Color me intrigued and worried. SU freshman Donnie Freeman, oh boy, will not be in the starting lineup tonight. Oh dear. Due to a personal issue, not a disciplinary issue. Okay. Jair Davis will start. I'm told, that's Mike, Freeman might be available, but haven't seen him in warm-ups yet. Okay. So, no idea what led to that, what that means, what's going on. I mean, wishing him the best. Who knows? Personal issue could mean a litany of who the heck knows what. This just in from Mike Waters and from the chat. A quick update here. Donnie Freeman just jogged onto the court for warm-ups. He's in uniform. It appears he'll be available to play tonight. Well, all right. Like, the math ain't mathin' right now. Like, if he's there, if he's there, and this is not a violation of team rules disciplinary issue, the game's in an hour. Like, he's there. Like, this person, like, is he sick? Like, has he got a cough? Like, what's a personal issue? Like, he's there an hour before the game. Man, we just did no wrong answers where I told you he was going to be the best player on the court tonight. Why is he not starting? I don't, like, what? I get it. Personal issue, whatever. I don't know what it means. Like, but he's there. Like, is he available? Is he not available? I don't know. So we're going to keep on top of this as best as we can here over the course of the next hour, but not ideal, but Donnie Freeman is there, is in uniform. Warm-ups are ongoing in the Dome. Donnie is not starting due to a personal issue that is not a disciplinary issue, and Jair Davis will start tonight. Now, you get into the game and everything that you're looking at with the game here. Albany's interior defense is horrendous. Mike detailed that in his game preview article earlier this morning. Their interior defense is horrendous. The three best players, if healthy, Eddie Lampkin, Jair Davis, and Donnie Freeman, to take advantage of this. Those are the three best players, if healthy, and I say if healthy for Lampkin, and I don't know, if healthy, if whatever, for Donnie Freeman, are those three guys. Well, we know about the problematic back of one Eddie Lampkin that has not looked good all year in some context. Like, he hasn't sat on the bench once, essentially, and he rides the exercise bike, and he's doing everything he can, it appears, to keep it loose. But since the first New York game, since the first Brooklyn game when he was so good in the Texas game and the loss, he's not looked anywhere near as spry since. So who knows with the back? Like, My back's good, best I can tell. But from any conversation I've ever had with people that have a bad back, like, you just never know when that puppy is going to be like, yeah, nope, sorry, lie down on the floor. Like, you're cooked, sorry about all that. We'll check in with you later. You just never quite know when you're going to get whacked with something like that. So we never we're not going to know with Lampkin on the back. I don't know, like all season, not potentially. Jair Davis, this feels like a game where Jair Davis can thrive tonight. Delaware guy playing Albany here, can work near the rim. It feels like a Jair Davis kind of game. That said, it really felt like a Donnie Freeman kind of game. It really felt like a Donnie Freeman kind of game. Where, the dude is an athlete against a team that cannot guard the rim. Like, this felt like, no wrong answers. An hour ago, I had Donnie Freeman going for 25 and 11 tonight. Now we don't even know if he's going to play for reasons still unknown. We'll see if we find out any answers to those questions as we get closer and closer to tip time tonight. But the news of the moment is Donnie Freeman in attendance on the court, wearing a uniform, not starting tonight. Personal reason, which covers as many things as you can imagine. Like, that does not narrow it down at all. Good, I suppose, that it is not a disciplinary reason, but who knows? So yet another change in the starting lineup for the Orange, yet another new starting lineup here, and yeah. We'll see what more we can learn about that as we go on throughout the hour. Right now, though, we also have to look back at another problematic thing, and that was the last time out against Notre Dame, a 69-64 loss to the Irish in South Bend on Saturday, which was Game 2, played without J.J. Starling. Let's not forget he's still out injured with the left hand. And a game in which Donnie Freeman played great, one of the best games of his young career so far, 20 points and 11 rebounds. But one Syracuse did lose, couldn't hit the broad side of the barn from the outside, 0 for 9 from 3. And defense, as Red told us after the game, they had breakdowns at exactly the wrong time.
The game was decided in the last 4 or 5 minutes. On our end, on the defensive end, we had some breakdowns. Shrewsbury got going. We lost them a couple of times, and that was the difference in the game. And then we had our own mistakes. Defensive breakdowns, free throws in the first half. I thought those are the things that decided the game.
Free throws have been a grease fire all season long. Boy, I don't know about that. And Braden Shrewsbury, head coach Micah Shrewsbury's son, who hit the Orange up for 6 threes in the Dome last year in a tight Syracuse win. He went off at 25 on Saturday in South Bend. And Syracuse just lost them at points down the stretch.
Well, we knew it was going to be a heavy dose of Shrewsbury and those guards, running and moving, and Davis. So we wanted to try to keep fresh bodies on them. Thought we had a, inside advantage, and I thought between our 3 bigs, Eddie, Donnie, Jair, that we could really give them some problems. So we wanted to try to rotate those guys to keep them fresh and on the perimeter. We knew, Lucas and Kyle, we just wanted to give them different looks in that aspect. In the first half, we did a decent job. The second half, when it got towards crunch time, we lost him and he got going.
Yeah, he hit shots late, was able to elude Lucas Taylor a few times, and ends up with 25 points in the game. And no J.J. Starling. We found out a week ago this afternoon, leading into the Tennessee game, that J.J. Starling was not going to play. From the sound of it, the Orange knew, at some point the day before. So it was still very, very new. Now it's 2 games without JJ, and he is the best player on the team. He was their leader in scoring. He was their leader in minutes. He was their leader, period. And the Orange are still figuring their way through it.
This team is still not with JJ here, and we're not shooting the ball well. So, a lot of the things that you would hope that you would have. You got to kind of adjust and go game by game now. Just see if someone's making shots, who's playing better, giving you some type of lift, some type of something, right? And, our front court has been pretty secure. Our front court is pretty secure, and, we just got to keep working and getting better.
All right, and we'll see what they can do. Jaquan Carlos had a solid game. Last game, 8 points and 7 rebounds. Can he continue to improve on that?
I thought Jaquan was fine. He probably took a pull-up late, but I thought he was fine. He got us, in the game, with his playmaking, keeping the ball, making the right plays. Again, I thought he defended. This is probably his best overall game. I thought he defended it well. I thought he put pressure on the ball. He didn't get blown past as much. I thought Jaquan, had his probably best game, since the season started.
And that was him last game. And frankly, the Orange, like it or not, they need him to step up and keep going. The Orange also need Chris Bell to step up. He's a veteran who shot north of 40% from three last year. Coming into this season, I think one of the main questions was, all right, has Chris Bell added any new facets to his game? We know the deal last year. Get him in the corner, park him there, and he will hit open threes. But has he added a little dribble pull-up? Has he added some passing? Has he added some rebounds? After a game or two, it looked like, all right, maybe he's added a little something. Regression for whatever reason has occurred, and now he's not even hitting the open threes in which he made his hay on last year anymore.
He's just not in a good place right now. I mean, it's clear. He's missing free throws and things like that. And teams are playing him hard, but he has to try to get himself going. We got to try to help him. But teams are running him off the 3-point line. We try to get a couple of flare actions for him, but they run him off. They do a good job of that. He's just in a bad place, and the only one that's really shooting the ball well is Elijah.
I'm still making the call to get Chapa in the starting lineup. No word if that is going to happen tonight or not. Chapa Moore playing well. Lucas Taylor has been starting at that spot the last couple of games in the absence of Starling. Taylor nominally is the team's best perimeter defender, but he's also just not shooting well at all from the outside. So what do you want, offense or defense? In the starting lineup, I'd lean offense, but we'll see where that goes. Chapa obviously will play. Both will play a lot, regardless of who starts today. So it doesn't matter a whole ton, but we'll see how it plays out. Again, the big news of now the last 20 minutes, 15 minutes or so, is again from Mike Waters reporting this. Right around 20 minutes ago, compiling everything we know right now. Donnie Freeman will not start. He started every game. It is due to a personal issue, not a disciplinary issue. Jair Davis will start. Donnie is there, apparently warming up. He's in uniform. It appears he'll be available to play tonight. Why he is there warming up, plenty of time before the game, available to play but not available to start, I don't know. Is it something we will learn ever? I don't know. Is it something we'll learn not until Reds post-game press conference? I don't know. Reds post-game press conference live in full here during our post-game show, both on ESPN Radio here in the Cuse and, of course, on CuseSportsTalk.com, both on Twitch and the Cuse Sports Talk YouTube page, both streaming live now. And post-game Reds full post-game presser live, as always, after home games and when available after road games. Tonight's a home game. Oh, baby, it's live. So that's what we know right now. What will we know by the time we get to tip-off? I don't know. Stay tuned for that. 45 more minutes of a roller coaster here in pregame for sure today. If you'd like to join us, you may. 315-437-7644 for ESPN 44. Still lots to come. We'll give you keys to the game. One of them was Donnie Freeman having a monster game. The best player on the court. Look back at the series between these two. Orange have never lost to Albany, and whatever else you want. Again, phone lines available for the rest of the hour. 315-437-7644 as we roll along in our Burdick pregame coverage here, getting you ready for the 9th all-time meeting between Syracuse and Albany tonight here on Cuse Sports Talk and ESPN Radio.
Water.
Oh, boy. Just can't have nice things. Are you certain that he had a car accident, or are we just, randomly guessing? Yeah. Yeah. Tim Leonard says Matt Parks has nothing major he's playing. But what did happen? That was minor. None of this makes sense. Am I correct, Tim? Nothing makes sense here. Like, are you guys just randomly making up a car accident, or does somebody actually know something? The bat light's popping tonight. Yeah, who's sourcing this car accident? I've not sourced a car accident. You guys are off and running here. Is Cuse Hoops Vito on Twitter? Are you talking about? I mean, he is in here. I don't know if I know Vito's Twitter off the top of my head. Yeah, I mean, Vito in here is Cuse B-ball. Yeah, Cuse Hoops is a different person.
This is the Burdick Ford and Burdick Toyota pregame show.
Oh, that it is. It's always something, is it not? It is always something. Again, Brad Higgins back with you. Cuse-Albany tonight, tipping off 7 o'clock. ESPN2 for the television. Cuse grad Doug Sherman on the call. Tonight, TK99 and ESPN 1200, of course, here in the Cuse for the radio. We'll have the full post-game coverage for you after, including the full post-game press conference of one Adrian Autry. Again, to recap, Mike Waters reporting from about a half an hour ago now. Donnie Freeman in attendance, will not start. Personal issue, not disciplinary issue. Jair Davis will start tonight's game, the Delaware transfer, who's played well this season. Donnie is there and seemingly currently warming up. All right. So there is that. there is that right now. Okay, so so hopefully nothing too serious for Donnie. You know, a personal issue could be like anything on earth. Like a personal issue could be like my tummy hurts, a fender bender, you know, something's wrong with grandma. Like a personal issue could be 8 million different things. So recklessly assume we shan't at the moment. But Donnie is there right now. Hopefully everything's okay. And even though he's apparently not starting, hopefully he's able to play and play well tonight. And we'll find out what happened or not, depending on whatever it was in due time. But yeah, always something. Always something. Hey, Cuse Hoops, you know, good, bad, and otherwise. It's not like the number one drama in Central New York every winter for no reason, right? It's not always just because of on the court stuff. Syracuse basketball, man, it is always something. Let's get a little this day in SU basketball history from the Shep Family Funeral Home. Celebrate your loved one with help from Shep. Visit shepfamily.com. So, series history, Cuse and Albany. Realistically, you would expect there to be more games until you realize Albany didn't go D1 until right around 2000. They transitioned up right around that point. All-time series is 8-0 in favor of Syracuse. We're 105 years on from the first ever game in Albany, a 24-19 thriller for Syracuse over the Danes. But the last meeting was 13 years ago, November 15th, 2011. Final score, 98-74 Cuse. Leading scorers that day, Chris Joseph and James Sutherland each had 19 points. Baikita had 14 points in that game. Starting five that day, going back in Syracuse history, was the starting five, I believe, every game all season. Well, not every game all season, because we know how it ended. It was the starting five in most of the games that season. Scoop Jardine, Brandon Trish, Chris Joseph, Rakeem Christmas, and the reason it was not the starting five in every game all season, one Fabricio DeMello was the starting center for the Orange that day. Look at this bench. Michael Carter-Williams coming off the bench. Dion Waiters coming off the bench. C.J. Fair coming off the bench. Bai Musakita coming off the bench. James Sutherland coming off the bench. Mookie Jones even featured off the bench last night. That was 13 years ago. They were 3-0 after that game. They were 20-0 several weeks later. On their way to a 3-loss season. 2 of those 3 losses coming without Fab Melo in the lineup, including the egregiously refereed Ohio State Elite 8 loss. That was 13 years ago. Syracuse, number 1 in the country for a decent chunk of that season. A number 1 seed in the NCAA basketball tournament that year, playing without Fab Melo, with the academic issues that would eventually lead to the sanctions and the whole deal. We know the history. 13 years ago. Might as well be a century ago, man. That feels like, it both feels like just yesterday. Like, you can close your eyes and see that team, see those guys, Scoop and Trish, Chris Joe, young Dion Waiters, the sophomore Fab Melo, The Rock, C.J. Fair coming off the bench, Michael Carter-Williams. You can see the glimpse of what he was going to be. You can see that team. Yet that feels like it was just years and years and years ago. It was a long time. You know, couple that with what we're talking about tonight, with, you know, what is the personal issues of one Donnie Freeman. Like, it's man. You know, and that's why we talk about every day around here, like how it's slid, how it's fallen. Whenever you look back and see games like this, this was a nothing game. This was not a memorable game. I don't recall. I'm sure none of you do. Do you recall anything about that Albany game from 13 years ago? No, that's not the point here. It's just like that team, man. 2 years removed from being number 1 in the country from a chunk of the season in 2010. They were number 1 in the country for a big chunk of the season in 2012. Them in Kentucky, you know, headed toward this possible collision, Anthony Davis and everything that Syracuse had going on, and then Fab gets removed from the equation, and on it goes. But it's one of these things, every time it comes up, it's like, it's fun to remember. We like those guys and that group. Chris Joe, friend of the show. Scoop, friend of the show. We like those guys. Have we had CJ Fair on the show? Maybe. I think so. At some point. Bye. Everyone loves Bye. Who doesn't love Bye, Keita? But, man, it's just, that was 13 years ago, which is both like a blink of the eye, and it feels like 80 million years ago when you think back on stuff like that. And time has passed, and the whole thing. And the whole thing. That's this day in SU basketball history from Shep Family Funeral Home. Celebrate your loved one with help from Shep Family Funeral Home. Visit shepfamily.com. All right, we'll take a break. Phone lines open the rest of the way on our pregame coverage today, 315-437-7644. Again, we'll continue monitoring the story of the day. Donnie Freeman absent from the starting lineup today with personal issues, though he is in attendance, warming up, and ready for action, it would appear. Well, let's phrase it this way. What do we know? He's in attendance and warming up. It would appear he's ready for action. What are the personal issues? We're digging, sourcing, trying to figure it out. There's whispers out there. We're hearing things, but we're trying to connect A plus 1 equals B, something like that. I don't know. Pick your favorite math thing. With that, we'll take a break. Phones available, as mentioned, 315-437-7644. Back after this, Cuse Sports Talk and ESPN Radio. Oh, that team was stupidly talented. So talented. Yeah, it would have been right around that time of year, Govendo. I think they might have been 4-0 when that happened. I hosted the Jim Boeheim show that night. That got awkward real fast. Well, not real fast. Right at the end, it got awkward when the news broke. That was one of those days you're like, oh, what? What? Hey, coach. So I was literally on the air. Oh, no, not the chowder at the Nissan December to Remember car event. I was like, of all the places in all the world to be right now when that was scrolling across ESPN. Sitting next to James Arthur Boeheim. I think they came to a mutual agreement to head in different directions. Florida Brad. Like, is Quadir Copeland a more talented player than Jaquan Carlos? Yes. Is Quadir Copeland what Red was trying to establish as the culture and locker room of the team? No. I got people in places, Super Cat. I don't know if Quadir was big on class either. He was fun to watch. That's a fact. Yeah, maybe Red did the Fran. I said it is sounding very much like Donnie got into a minor accident of some sort. So hopefully he's all right.
Show.
Alrighty, rolled along here on this Tuesday. It's Tuesday, December the 10th. All right, so again, the news of the last 40 minutes or so is Donnie Freeman is not starting tonight. Mike Waters originally reporting that about 40-ish minutes ago now. He is in attendance at the game. Donnie warming up in a uniform. A personal issue, not a disciplinary issue tonight for Donnie. Hearing some things out there. Can't quite confirm it all enough to say it out loud, but sounds like a more of a minor annoyance than anything legit major or big picture worrisome or anything like that. So hopefully Donnie's okay, and we'll see him playing his full allotment of minutes tonight, even though he's not starting. Hopefully everyone's okay. But does not sound, again, don't know everything, that it's that big of a deal. But we'll see if we get any more light shined on it by Red before, after, during, whenever the game tonight. We'll see if he's available, but he's there in uniform. Generally, when you're wearing the uniform, you are available to play in the game. So we'll see about that with Donnie Freeman tonight. And again, like, you look at this game here as we get into our injury report, brought to you by Harding and Mazzotti, that J.J. Starling is out. J.J. Starling is out. Eddie Lampkin's back remains, hopefully not out. You never know with backs. Man. Eddie Lampkin remains, I don't know. Whatever a personal issue is for Donnie Freeman, hopefully it's not an injury situation at some point that has happened. But, man, it go years and years without the injury report wielding its head like this, as aggressively as such, early on in the season. But, man, no JJ, Donnie Freeman's status up in the air, just constantly Eddie Lampkin's status up in the air. The general talent level of the roster right now, when you look at those three guys, legitimately are three of the most talented players on the roster. It's a tough spot to be in regardless, one way or the other, tonight or any other night. If you're Syracuse right now, in regards to talent, availability, roster combinations, Red said it after the game, Tennessee, that you look at, I mean, JJ was playing 37 minutes a game. JJ was playing 37 minutes a game. But, so basically, hey, if a guy's playing 37 minutes a game, it might as well be the whole game, as far as, rotations, substitution patterns, whatever. It's not like he's playing 32 minutes and, there's guys coming in at this point, that point, whatever. Playing 37 minutes a game, you're basically playing the whole game. What did he play? 49 minutes in the double overtime Youngstown State game. And Red said it after the Tennessee game, that for all of the different on-court lineup combinations that he has tried this season, and boy, howdy, there were many. There were many. That any of, like, the realistic ones that you're going to put on the court had J.J. Starling in them. Now, had Chance Westry been healthy and available from the start, maybe that's not the case. Maybe you have more time to rest him. That said, we saw it last year. Remember last year? It was Red's first exhibition game last year. J.J. played 40 minutes in the first exhibition game. We all kind of looked at each other like, what the heck just happened? 40 minutes in an exhibition game. I've never seen that before in my life. Now, that was the game Judah Mintz didn't play, and there were like reasons and whatever, but it was an exhibition game. Like, a guy played 40 minutes. I had never quite seen anything like that. But what does that tell you? But what do you learn out of exhibition games? The main thing I learned that day is that the guy Red trusted most to be on the court was J.J. Starling, and that has not changed in the last year plus. So JJ's still unavailable. Now, where else do you go for trust if you're the head coach? Who do you trust on the court? Do you trust your freshman, Donnie Freeman, who you had to take out of the starting lineup tonight for personal reasons? Do you trust your biggest portal acquisition in Eddie Lampkin, whose back is bothering him? Do you trust your point guard in Jaquan Carlos, who's not been able to score 10 points in a game yet this season? Like, where are you going for trust? Do you trust your veteran in Chris Bell, who is having the worst shooting season of his career so far? Do you trust your freshman shooting guard in Chapa Moore, who's a freshman and is still figuring it out, especially at the defensive end of the court? Do you trust your guard, Lucas Taylor, if you brought in out of the portal, who's hit just 1 3 all season? Good defender, but he can't shoot right now. Do you trust your former Kansas transfer in Kyle Cuff, who's never quite shown it at the college level? Do you trust Jair Davis, who has been maybe your most consistent player in some ways so far, but at the same time, he's coming off the bench and, Delaware transfer? Where do you go right now if you're Red when you're looking for roster combinations, lineup combinations to put on the floor? Where do you go for trust? Where do you go to put 5 guys on the floor where you feel like, okay, hey, if we need to just settle things down for a moment, here's the 5? The answer for the last year and a half was J.J. Starling. The answer for the last year and a half, the answer for Red's entire tenure has been J.J. Starling. Whether it worked or not, like Judah was the best player last year. Like, I'm not saying J.J. was the best player last year, but the clear answer based on minutes allocated and who Red turned to and put on the court in important times of the games of who he trusted to have on the floor was J.J. Starling. And now he's gone. At least, well, we haven't heard an official timetable, but presumably a broken left hand. I'm still putting that out to mid-January. You've lost your most trusted guy on the court. It's hard to go through games like that. It's hard to go through games and times like that without your most trusted guy. And then now Donnie Freeman is out of the line. Like, you're juggling this, you're juggling that. Man. Let's say we all have questions, Red in year 2, and I know people are getting antsy and itchy in the whole thing. We all have questions, and, Jim Boeheim was here for 47 years. There's always questions. You're always going to have questions about the head coach, but you had such stability with Jim Boeheim. Now, like, for the first time in almost all of our lives, you're dealing with another guy. It's just, man, and he's looking for a guy he can trust on the court, and he's out hurt. And your other guys who would be next in line, for whatever reason, I'm not saying they're untrustworthy individuals. It's a different form of trust here. But, like, when you're the head coach, you need somebody to lean on. Like, you don't have it there. Like, look at the women's team last year and this year. Like, clearly, like, Felicia Leggett-Jack had implicit trust in Deasia Fair for multiple years in his career. She's gone, and the women's team it's kind of adrift right now. She's not been able to replace that with anything similar on the court this year. The men at least had that guy in J.J. Starling, but now he's out for a month and a half. Where do you go for trust? I don't know. I don't know right now, and I think that's it's a question that's tough for Red to answer because he at minimum, if he didn't know what the 5 should be here or there or what the best group was or maybe whiffed in the portal on some guys, this, that, whatever, at least you had like a cornerstone for when you're like, all right, we'll put JJ on and we'll figure it out around him. Now you don't have that, and man, we'll see how it plays out against Albany. Albany's okay. They're 6-4. They're okay. But look at the season. You're 4-0 in the Dome. 4-point win against Lemoyne, 2-point win against Colgate. Was it the other way? Either way, you get the deal. Double overtime win Youngstown State. Trailing down big early against Cornell. Rally, nice run. Late first half, early second half, but never really pull away, win by 10. Those are your 4 wins. There's really nothing that gives confidence tonight. Not that you'll win the game. Like, I believe they should win the game. Of course, they're 12.5 point favorites or whatever it is tonight. But there's nothing we have seen in any of the 8 games so far this season which gives me trust, faith, confidence going into tonight that Syracuse will win comfortably, like they have literally every other time they've played Albany historically, though they've not played now in 13 years. We'll see. From absence comes opportunity. Maybe Jair Davis steps up and has a monster game tonight. Now, he's coming off a 20-point game. He's played well and consistently all year long. Maybe Donnie Freeman doesn't start but comes in immediately, still plays 30 minutes, and has a huge game. It's all possible. It's all floating around out there tonight. With that, we'll take our final break here of our pregame coverage. Still time for a call if you'd like at 315-437-7644 for ESPN 44. We'll give you our keys to the game, get you set up for Cuse in Albany after this. It's Cuse Sports Talk and ESPN Radio. No. No thanks. I picked up a little sandwich dealer from Moigies earlier today. I'm good on that. What are you getting? Not vibing with it? Tim Leonard looking to diversify. Yeah, guys, I think we may have adjudicated the Bernie Fine history enough. I don't know where we're going to go on this one, but start Florida Brad? No, but I think he certainly thought he was going to be way, way, way more involved. Dark before 7, Bobby. It was dark at like 4. What's really gross is like it was dark when you wake up, dark when you leave work. I'd say B. Finnegan. That would potentially be that would be good in that in theory it means Chance is playing well. Like, I don't know if he's like, I'd like to, like, I still haven't really seen him do anything. Like, he's been on the court. Nothing really has happened, good, bad, or otherwise. I'd like to see him, see what the deal is. Yeah, that's why, Dan, I like the idea of a JJ Chapa backcourt. Yeah, that's why I have no idea, Florida Brad. I'd like to see it. I just don't know how long it's going to take. Yeah, I mean he'd be a really big point guard. Like I like the general concept of what in theory he is. I just don't know if he's ever actually going to be that. Yeah, it was trending that way, Florida Brad. It was certainly trending that way. Dion was a tank. Not quite Paul Harris, but Dion was thick. He was a tank.
He's the Burdick Ford and Burdick Toyota pregame show.
Alrighty, last few minutes with you here tonight. A recap, if you have missed it. And if you have, you are literally just tuning in because it's been a majority of the show tonight. Have they posted the official starting lineups yet? Let's look at that because we know originally from Mike Waters reporting and others at the game of the Dome tonight, Donnie Freeman not starting. A personal matter. He is there warming up, not a disciplinary matter as we have been told. Jair Davis, they have not officially posted the starters yet. Jair Davis will be those starting in Donnie Freeman's place tonight. Donnie there and apparently warming up. So, well, what does it all mean? Yeah, great question. Great question. Okay. Matt Park has just posted the starting. Oh, yes. No wrong answers has come through on one thing. We may have been off on the Donnie Freeman information because I predicted Donnie to go 25-11 tonight, and he may still off the bench. Choppa Moore is in the starting lineup. Choppa Moore is in the starting lineup tonight. We've spoken it into existence. Your starting five tonight for the Orange is Jaquan Carlos, Elijah Moore, Chris Bell, Jair Davis, and Eddie Lampkin. Okay. We got at least one. No wrong answers. You got at least one in the book. So, again, Carlos, Choppa, Bell, Davis, and Lampkin is the starting five tonight. Donnie Freeman will play off the bench. Matt Park says expect Donnie Freeman to play off the bench, so we shall expect it. And that means that Moore is replacing Lucas Taylor in the starting lineup. I think that was the obvious move for Red to make, and he made it, which is what you'd like to see. When there's a clear move to make, go make it. And he did that. I think there's still certainly a role on this team for Lucas Taylor. He is seemingly the best perimeter defender on the team, but until he starts hitting some outside shots, it's hard to play him significant minutes. Because I get he's probably a way better defender than Choppa right now. Choppa has great effort on defense. Choppa's leading the team, it feels like right now, in effort for me. I like he's at least running around out there. If you're going to screw up on defense, at least screw up running around aggressively. But he's the best shooter on the team right now. He's the only guy on the team making 30% from three, much less the 40% that he's shooting. Especially until Chris Bell hopefully refigures out his stroke from the outside. I mean, the dude shot. What did Chris shoot last year? 42% from three. Chris was not a good three-point shooter last year. He was a great three-point shooter. And this year, he has been shooting 29% from three. Like we talk about, all right, how can this team become something that they're not right now? Choppa making shots. Bell making shots. JJ coming back. Donnie Freeman growing as a freshman. Jair Davis veteran presence off the bench. And Eddie Lampkin's back feeling better. Well, what was that? 6 things? Tonight, we're maybe at 2 of 6. So with Choppa in the starting lineup and Jair Davis getting the look. All right. Whatever the personal issues are for Donnie Freeman, hopefully it's a one-day only thing, and he's good going forward. Can Lampkin's back get back? Can JJ get back? Like, there's a route to competency here. But it's been a long and twisty road thus far. But no Donnie Freeman in the starting lineup tonight. Choppa Moore making his first career start. Choppa has been, post JJ world. He is the most creative, electric, interesting offensive player Syracuse has, at least in the backcourt. Donnie Freeman, Jair Davis, depending on what it is, Eddie Lampkin, injury-wise, health-wise, can get it done in the front court. But, we'll get Choppa in the starting lineup today. All for it. Been calling for it for the last few games. Well, in several reasons. When JJ went out, I thought it was the natural move. I get why they went Lucas Taylor to start with it, but I think just with the offensive deficiency of Taylor right now, you just needed offense on the floor. There have been too many slow starts here. You need points early. You need somebody to spark you early, especially with JJ unavailable. I'm still and who knows if it'll come to this, I thought things were trending toward not starting. I wasn't saying starting, but I thought things were trending toward a lot of minutes going to a JJ Choppa backcourt. and then JJ gets hurt. I think we were just at the precipice of it, too. Like, Chapa showed out in the Cornell game. JJ had been sliding over to the point more and more as games went along, either to play with Taylor or Chapa. I just thought we were really trending toward, like, that being the lineup of Chapa, JJ, Bell, well, some combination of these six, right? Chapa, JJ, Bell, Davis, Freeman, and Lampkin. Then you remove JJ from it, and it just threw the calculus of everything off. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes, but I like the idea of Chapa in the starting lineup tonight because, Bell, it hasn't happened this year, but Bell's a guy that can start quick. Chapa feels like another guy that can start quick. Tonight feels like a game. I don't say the Orange need to start quick to win the game. It would be a very nice change of pace for the Orange to start quick and jump Albany early. I'm not necessarily feeling it's going to happen, but it would be a very, very nice game for that to happen. Albany is decent-ish. They're 6-4. They're not great. They're decent-ish. They're good enough that if Syracuse stumbles around in this game, that they're going to hang around. But they're also, in my mind, not good enough that if Syracuse jumps them from the get-go, yeah. All right. I think I've heard from enough people here. Apparently, Donnie Freeman had some kind of minor traffic accident earlier today. Don't know anything beyond that, but I've heard this from enough sources in and around the program to tell you that Donnie Freeman had some kind of minor traffic accident earlier today. Don't know anything beyond that. Hopefully, he's okay, or what led the personal issue will play. I don't know any facts beyond that, but hopefully everybody's okay in that, and just a minor fender bender or something of that, but don't know the deal other than that, but that is what the personal issue is for Donnie, and hopefully all is good beyond that. He's in attendance. I'd say the fact that he's in attendance, in uniform and warming up would be a sign that it is just a minor thing. Winter roadways and all can get the best of us all at one time or another, though it was a little warmer today, but you never know how these things go. All right, game coming up tonight. Listen, of course, on TK99 and ESPN 1200 on the AM dial. Watch the game on ESPN 2. Doug Sherman, Syracuse grad, and Randolph Childress on the broadcast tonight on The Deuce. I got Syracuse winning the game, but I think, and I added the Donnie stuff and all this stuff, I think it may play out similarly to a lot of the other games where it's just closer than you'd like for a while. Now the Orange find a way to win. I got it 79-71. I do wonder if this Donnie Freeman stuff gives them a little more focus to start the game and get out there and jump Albany early. Syracuse should win the game today. Syracuse has also not yet shown the ability this season to put away teams cleanly and easily. But we shall see over the course of the next 2 hours or so. When the game is over tonight, wherever you are right now, the radio, Cuse Sports Talk on the Twitch, CuseSportsTalk.com, Cuse Sports Talk on the YouTube Live, wherever you are right now, just go back to that place after the game. We'll reconvene, and we'll do the post-game show. We'll take your calls, and we'll get Red Autry's post-game press conference in full after the game today. So looking forward to all that after the game. We'll see how the Orange play tonight. 4-0 in the Dome, 0-4 elsewhere. They're in the Dome tonight for the 9th all-time meeting against Albany. All right, enjoy the game, everybody. Again, ESPN 2 TV, TK99, ESPN 1200 on the radio. We're back with you post-game here on Cuse Sports Talk and ESPN Radio.
This is Orange Nation.